Welcome back to the MMA Explorers. Today, let's get started with Khabib breaks down welterweight division ahead of Islam's 170 debut. Khabib Nurmagomedov recently gave his take on the welterweight landscape as Islam Makhachev prepares for his long-awaited move to 170 pounds. According to Khabib, only a few names stand out as true threats. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on this video to support the channel. Let's aim for 10 likes.
Бой Ислам Макхачев против Мадалены. От тебя прозвучало о том, что это будет самый тяжелый бой в карьере Ислама. Почему?
Ну, мы не можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Мадаленой. Он как боец очень интересный. Тогда, конечно, у меня даже в голове не было насчет боя Ислама и Мадалены, но судя по его скиллам, по его технике, по его ударке, судя по тому, как он защищается против борцов, а он дрался с борцами. Рамазан хорошо борется, Гилберт Бронс хорошо борется, Белал Мухаммад хорошо борется. Он дрался с такими ребятами, у кого длинные рычаги, тот же Холланд. Ну, то есть он дрался и с борцами, и с ударниками, и с физически крепкими ребятами. Он такой, знаешь, проверку прошел, 9-0 UFC чемпион. У него та команда, которая готовила Волконовского на Ислама. Вот это все вместе, если сопоставить, я вижу в нем очень грозного соперника.
Вот теперь скажи, не будем за спину смотреть Мадалены, но если бы не было Мадалены, то как дальше выглядит ситуация в 77? Кто может оказаться напротив Ислама в клетке? И там два слова о каждом из них.
Я вижу 77 Шавката как соперника, да, вот, вызывающего уважение, во-первых, во-вторых, опасения. Шавкат, Белял, Ян Герри я бы не считал бы таким грозным соперником. Шавкат, Белял, даже еще один мало. Шон Брэди я не вижу. Стилистически слишком удобный. Ислам его стойки перебьет, бороться он, Ислама в ноге останется. Не вижу Шон Брэди такого грозного соперника. Он, конечно, крепкий, хороший боец, но не вижу. Шавкат и Белял, и Магалена.
Magomed Ankalaev open to Khamzat Chimaev clash at light heavyweight. Magomed Ankalaev has made it clear he's ready to welcome Khamzat Chimaev to the light heavyweight division if the new middleweight champion decides to move up.
What do you make of Khamzat Chimaev's performance? He just became the champion at 185. What do you think of his fight against Duplessis? Yeah, I want to congratulate Khamzat with his victory. He proved himself and showed how powerful he is, and that with his wrestling, he can dominate a strong fighter for 5 rounds. I know it's not easy. He deserved that victory. Congratulations. Khamzat mentioned a potential move up to light heavyweight. Just hypothetically, do you see yourself fighting Khamzat one day? I don't know. As long as I'm the champ in this division, if somebody wants to move up and challenge me for the belt, I'm happy to oblige. No problem. If he moves up, good for him. No problem.
Sean Strickland defends Rampage Jackson's son. Sean Strickland has come to the defense of Rampage Jackson's son, Raja, following his recent legal troubles after an incident at a wrestling event. Posting on X, Strickland argued that prison should be a last resort, drawing from his own past experiences with the justice system. Jackson's kid shouldn't go to jail. Prison should always be a last resort. I was arrested at 19 for 2 felony at GBIs. I would have spent 5 to 6 years in prison if the DA had its way. After 6 years in a cell, coming out with nothing, being indoctrinated with gangs and violence, I guarantee I would have killed someone. There was one guy telling me about how he picked up a murder charge, and I remembered being impressed by him. That would have been my future. Instead, I plead and took 100 days jail or work release, a ton of anger management, and a decent amount of victim restitution. After a miserable 2 years of court, luckily a lawyer took my case for free because I didn't have $1 to my name. Bottom line is, it's not about the person in prison, it's about who they become when they're out of prison. And I believe if I wasn't offered that deal, I would be dead today, and more than likely would have resulted in someone else's death as well. My 2 cents. Rehabilitation over prison always. Daniel Cormier shows wrestling skills are still sharp in new sparring session. Former UFC champion Daniel Cormier reminded fans that his wrestling pedigree never left during an impressive sparring session clip that recently surfaced. Sean O'Malley admits copying Conor McGregor led to losing himself. UFC former bantamweight star Sean O'Malley recently opened up about his early career mindset, admitting that he spent too much time trying to imitate Conor McGregor rather than being his authentic self. O'Malley said the attempt to mirror McGregor's persona caused him to lose touch with his own identity, both inside and outside the octagon.
Did you use him as a role model at all?
100%. Like, the way he carried himself into fights, the confidence, his confidence to say what he thought was I'm gonna knock this dude out round 2. I'm gonna do it. Like, I got a lot out of that, and I was like, okay, I can be confident like that. And I feel like I got lost almost in a sense where I wanted to be like Conor too much instead of being like myself. I would say like the first Merab fight, I almost like, it was my second title defense, and I was like, I want this to be big. I didn't feel like it was big. I didn't feel like Merab was a big name. I felt like I had to force it. It was at the Sphere. Like, I felt like I had to like create something, and I didn't like how that made me feel. In a sense, I'm like, because I didn't hate Merab. I would have loved to knock him out. I would love anybody if I want to knock out without it being personal.
Yeah.
But I felt like I made that one too personal, and I didn't like that. Merab one, I kind of felt like I forced a little bit.
Brendan Schaub weighs in on Raja Jackson's wrestling incident. Brendan Schaub has given his blunt take on Raja Jackson's violent attack on pro wrestler Stuart Smith. Speaking on his Thick Boy podcast, Schaub, a longtime friend of Rampage Jackson, admitted he initially tried to find a way to justify Raja's actions, but ultimately couldn't. He described the situation as sad and warned that if Smith chooses to press charges, Raja could be staring down some very serious legal consequences.
And I'll be transparent. I like Raja, and obviously I adore Rampage. Me and Rampage have a great relationship. I love Rampage. And it's just by nature, my initial thought was when I heard about this, and I spoke with Rampage, when I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos. I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing. Oh, I can't, you can't defend this. I see this, it's so sad. Because he was just getting started, and that all goes away. If this veteran pro wrestler decides to press charges, that pro wrestler goes, this was a bit or this was a work, and he just thought that's how it works, I'm not pressing charges, Raja's still going to take a lot of heat online, but you're not doing jail time. Then we can figure it out. But if that dude wakes up and somebody's in his ear and goes, dude, you got to make this dude pay. He has to learn a lesson, and he presses charges, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, it's gonna be tough. Talking about felony, you know?
Colby Covington blasts Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. Colby Covington has gone off on the recently announced Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis showdown set for November 14th on Netflix. The outspoken UFC welterweight slammed the matchup, calling it proof that boxing is dead, while taking shots at Paul's entire career. Before we continue, help us reach our goal of 100 subscribers here on MMA Explorers. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily MMA content.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed? if they were, allegedly. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Let's wrap it up for the day. Thanks for watching.